Walt Disney World Resorts, the happiest place on earth. If you took a trip to any of these resorts today, you would find yourself in a crowd of thousands, but it wasn't always that popular. It has grown tremendously over the years to become what it is today. I have done quite a bit of research and have made multiple trips to some of these resorts to learn everything that I can about this fascinating place. Today, I will inform you just how Walt Disney World Resort has become so popular. I will start by sharing with you the history of how it was started, and then I will tell you about the Disney Decade, which is a decade in which many parks and other attractions were added and drew in crowds of millions. That decade would be the 90s. Finally, I will discuss with you how popular it is today. Back to the beginning. When did it all get started? Walt Disney imagined a place where parents and children could have fun together. He originally had plans to have the park built on a small 8 acres lot. He spent quite a lot of time planning it out with all the attractions and realized that 8 acres would be nowhere near enough. So, in 1953, he had researchers conduct a survey. He wanted them to find a lot with 100 acres just outside of Los Angeles. The search ended not long after when they found an orange grove that was 160 acres. Financial obligations were hard. Walt had money, but not enough, and finding investors was hard. According to the website justdisney.com, Walt Disney once said, "I could not convince financiers that Disneyland was feasible because dreams offer too little collateral." So Walt turned to the American people for financial support by a television series that showed potential ideas of the project that he had named Disneyland. This seemed to work, and construction started in July of 1954. This went on for only a year, and the park opened its doors on July 17, 1955, with only 18 attractions. DisneyDreamer.com states the opening day was an invitation-only day, where approximately 6,000 invitations were sent out. Somehow, tickets were duplicated, and the park received over 28,000 visitors. Tickets when the park opened were $1 each. You paid per attraction, and that ranged from 35 cents to 55 cents, much less than what it costs today. Opening day was a mess. Rides malfunctioned, only a limited number of water fountains worked, only certain toilets worked, and the asphalt was still steaming from being laid the day before and was literally sinking high heels into it. Despite all the mishaps, the crowd picked up eventually. By 1965, the park had more than 50 million visitors. Only a few short years after Disneyland opened, Walt Disney Productions began looking for a second park. According to Steve Mannheim, who wrote Walt Disney and the Quest for Community, Walt Disney Productions knew a much bigger spot was needed, so they used dummy corporations to acquire 27,000 acres of land. The second park was a secret from the public because Walt Disney was quite upset about the amount of businesses that popped around Disneyland, and he didn't want the same thing to happen with the new park. The second park was not confirmed to be Disney until October 25, 1965, after it was leaked in a newspaper, according to an article in the Orlando Sentinel. Unfortunately, Walt Disney passed away from lung cancer December 15, 1966, before getting to see the second park open. His brother and business partner, Roy Disney, was due to be retired, but postponed it to oversee the construction of the resort's first phase. The second park had its opening day on October 1, 1971. Roy Disney dedicated it to his brother and said it would be called Walt Disney World. Roy passed away a little over 2 months after that. The board carried on the plans for more parks, and in 1982, Epcot Center was opened. The Disney MGM Studios opened in 1989. According to Disneyology.com, Michael Eisner, the chief executive officer of Walt Disney Company, was inspired by MGM and announced a 10-year plan to boost Disney attractions around the world. This plan was what we call the Disney Decade. Mr. Eisner tried to open a Disneyland Paris, but the executives got cold feet and the idea faded away quickly. The rest of the 90s boasted many new rides and attractions for Disneyland in California. 1991, Indiana Jones and the Muppets were not able to get the green light, but Dick Tracy Musical did. In 1993, Kermit the Frog Presents Muppets 3D, and Mickey's 65th birthday was celebrated. During the birthday celebration, they opened Mickey's Starland, which is now known as Mickey's Toontown. The Little Mermaid ride was built as well that year. In 1994, Tomorrowland 2055 was opened. Dick Tracy's Crime Stoppers was opened in 1996. In 1999, they got the Great Movie Ride, Toontown Trolley, and Superstar Television. Overall, the Disney decade was quite a success for Disneyland. Back in Florida, Disney's Animal Kingdom opened in 1998. Not only were rides and attractions added during this decade, but many other spots were added as well. A list of some would include Disney's Yacht and Beach Club, Disney's Old Key West Resort, Disney's All-Star Sports Resort, Disney's Blizzard Beach, Walt Disney World Speedway, Disney Quest, Disney Downtown Westside, and Disney's Wild World of Sports Complex. They are just some of this extremely long list. But thanks to the Disney decade, millions of more visitors came to check out the new attractions and help Disney become what it is today. Presently, Walt Disney World is the most visited vacation resort in the world with an attendance of 52.5 million annually, a big step up from where it started. Disneyland itself has had more than 450 million visitors since opening day. Walt Disney World Resorts have 5 more proposed resorts coming in the very near future. I have now informed you of the history of Walt Disney World Resorts and how it became the success it is today. I hope if you had not had the opportunity to visit at least one of these parks, you make an effort to do so at least once in a lifetime. Visiting the happiest place on earth is definitely something you can never forget. Even if you have no children, Disney is still a great place for adults. Walt Disney's idea of a fun place for everyone was definitely achieved.